Let me tell you about two things that I think indicate that a person has a pretty severe or significant disturbance, mental disturbance in the realm of psychopathy or sociopathy. I am Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. And I've spent many years working with people who have some criminal behavior and some severe disturbances in mental capacity. One of the things that I think indicates a significant disturbance is a person that puts on a false identity. So a person that, they may change their name out of nowhere or sort of create like this new character personality that's nothing like the actual person that they actually are. And this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with like transgender or gender dysphoria or things like that. This is like, if it's a woman that then it would be a woman that just sort of changing her name and having like this alter ego that she now goes by in the public sense. And there are some people, interestingly enough, that sort of tout themselves as doing the same work that I do, in terms of working with victims of abuse and so on and so forth. And I know them from way back when, and they've changed their name and changed their identity. And it's interesting to sort of watch them on social media when I know who they are for a fact, but they now go by this different name and this different persona, and they sort of portray this false image of themselves on social media. And what's interesting is they'll always have like a super huge following, and I always think, I'm like, those people with those personalities really know how to charm and sort of, mold themselves into this completely different identity. And I'll give you an example, another example, like way back in the day, many, many eons ago, when I used to work in the medical field, I used to have a supervisor, and, she was this woman that would come in and, she would be this very overbearing woman, but then there would be certain days when she would just come in and she would have an alter ego, and she would talk in a baby voice. And she would have like, it would be like baby talk. And it would be like, oh my God, this person is so like, it would just be so interesting. And there's a celebrity I know that kind of does the same thing, that just sort of out of nowhere sort of switches up and like, does this whole different identity from day to day. And another disturbance that I've noticed, especially with perpetrators of violence, and it's not, is bedwetting. And I want to specify and clarify that it's bedwetting that's not due to a medical condition or anything like that, but a lot of people who have what's called enuresis, right? Enuresis or onchopresis, which is where they poop on themselves. So bedwetting is a big one amongst psychopaths. So if, there are people who have medical conditions and things like that, and I'm not talking about those people, but I'm more so talking about people that have a psychological disturbance, and a lot of times they're haunted by nightmares and things that they do, and also maybe even things that have been done to them, because even psychopaths and sociopaths a lot of them have experienced trauma of their own. But bedwetting is very common in adulthood. So I'm not talking about childhood, I'm talking about well into adulthood. Frequent bedwetting is another common one. All right, thank you.